Hi everyone, so we are Team 6. We're talking about the inclusivity of Procter & Gamble, and we're in this really fancy kind of video room, but we're going to be talking to you today about Procter & Gamble and what they've been doing and their kind of marketing strategy. So now I will kind of jump into the next part, if you all want to head on out. Bye team. All right, so we'll be talking about the inclusivity at Procter & Gamble. So first thing is we will be discussing the case summary and kind of the marketing mix. So Procter & Gamble or P&G is really trying to pivot their target market. Kind of like how we discussed in class today about the actual company target, trying to be more inclusive. That's exactly what P&G is trying to do. P&G makes tons of projects from hygiene to like the Bounty products to even Pringles. There's tons of random stuff, but a lot of them is directed towards, let's say, men or women. And specifically, one product they are trying to direct, or originally we're trying to direct towards just women. But now they took off, let's say, took off the symbol for a female, and now they're just trying to open it up to everyone. So that's one example, but we'll talk about that way later on in the next couple slides. But in the marketing plan, right after the STP is the marketing mix, and this is comprised of the product, the price, the place, and the promotion. The product is what creates the value, the price is what captures the value, the place is what delivers the value, and promotion is what communicates the value. Let's say if you have a Tesla, the price is at maybe $40,000, $80,000, however expensive they are, and that is what sets what people value it at. Whether or not it is actually that valuable is determined by the product, and whether or not if they communicated that across is from the promotion. So all four of these things has to kind of really come and play about how a product is marketed and how it really provides value to the consumer. And Procter & Gamble is really trying to change the promotion side of it. They're trying to really communicate value to a more broader audience with the targeting part and just trying to target and make everything more inclusive, make everyone more aware of that, hey, you can use these products for everyone, not just a certain group of people. So now I'll pass it off to the next person and we'll still talk about their part of the Procter & Gamble inclusivity.
All right, so as he stated, they're trying to find new markets and expand into those. And one of the ways they're trying to do it is go into a younger audience. And this is called demographic segmentation. And they want to reach younger audiences because they're coming up and they have new norms and beliefs. And as he also stated, they dropped the female symbol, and this is also one of the new norms. So this means that more people are inclusive and they're more open to people's identity and gender. And this is very important these days, and it's become very important in the past like 10 years or so. And they wanted to do this just so they could be more inclusive, so people have a good view on their company. And yeah, next slide, please. And another concept that this connected to is psychographic segmentation. And this is them focusing on their own values and the values of their customer. So this is sort of the same thing, but it's more of a mental thing. So they wanted to change their whole brand to just stop focusing on just women and include everyone, which because people have new norms these days and they want to reach everyone, regardless of their gender or whatever. And they also wanted to change their concept of themselves because they want to reach everyone. They want to look good for people. So yeah, this is how they do that. So next person.
Inclusivity should be one of the areas companies should focus on when building their public relationship or promoting their market plan. This will not only affect various consumer groups, but consumers who will identify and feel connected to the brand. It will also get employees to get excited and to work for a company that they know they're being appreciated or represented also. Promoting gender diversity within any company is great for them because overall they bring in different viewpoints and skills with them into the workforce. I will now hand it over to Mawar.
Thank you, Michelle.
Now, why is P&G pursuing this strategy of inclusivity? So, as we spoke about in class, um, the company must take into account the macro environment when creating their marketing plan. So within the macro environment is included the demographics and the culture, which are two important aspects that are being taken into consideration here. Generation Z is a growing generational cohort that is being introduced into P&G's market. With Generation Z becoming a part of their target customers, P&G is considering what Generation Z values, and within that is inclusivity. So Generation Z brings in a lot of values that are related to gender fluidity and inclusivity and all the things that we talked about earlier, and they're implementing those in their products and in their marketing plan in order to seem more appealing to their customer base. Now, how will this help P&G? So if they prove to their customers that they value the same things that the Generation Z and their new customers value as well, then this will portray P&G as a progressive and innovative brand, which will help them attract younger customers and hopefully increase sales. Now I'll pass it on to talk more about our survey results.
Thank you, Mar. So the survey we created was asking individuals about their experience with companies like Procter & Gamble who produce products or change their products that are more gender inclusive, such as how their sanitary lines removed the symbol that was widely recognized as a symbol for females. So we received just over 30 responses, and these are some of the demographics that we hit with these responses. So a majority of these responses were male, but they were not swayed too much, and a heavy majority of these responses were from the Gen Z generation. So now I'd like to go over the results. So we asked 3 questions. The first one, we asked what we believed these individuals believed that the main cause for these companies' decisions, and about a quarter of them believed that these companies were doing this to raise awareness for gender inclusivity, and a heavy minority of them said that these companies were actually doing it just for money, and a overwhelmingly majority sort of met in the middle and believed that companies were doing this for their own self-image. The next, we asked them whether they themselves or someone they knew had ever had an issue with a product that involved some sort of gender or gender inclusivity. And around 75% of people said that no, they had never had an issue or knew anyone that ever had an issue with this, but a quarter of them did say so. And lastly, we asked them on a scale of 1 to 5, how they view packaging when they are purchasing a product. 1 being it could come in a cardboard box, they don't care what it looks like as long as the functionality is there, and 5 being they stroll down the aisles and they decide then and there what they're going to buy. And a majority fell within the 2 range, basing more on functionality, less on packaging visuals. But it was a fairly broad spectrum that was responded, but no one responded with a 5. And some notable data that came out of this survey is that there was not a single person who both responded that companies believed money was a priority and that responded that they had an issue. So only people who never had an issue believed that companies did this for money, and also noting that only people who identified as male responded that they believe companies did this straight for money, but also, however, only those who identified as male ever had an issue or knew anyone that had an issue with gender inclusivity. I'll now lead on to David to concluding remarks.
Cool. Thank you all so much for watching. Based on the survey results, you can definitely see that it is really important to keep the consumer in mind, and that is definitely what Procter & Gamble has done. They've really tried to see how they can provide value to the consumer and to all consumers, whether that's through the 4 Ps or through the survey results that we talked about, the marketing mix, the STP, everything kind of we're talking about in class. This is all really applicable to companies out there in the real world, like Target today, who we talked about in class, or P&G. So thank you all for taking the time to watch this, and see ya.